what we were predicting with the increase and the real adherence to the physical separation, the guidelines that the vice president talks about, the physical separation, at the same time as we're seeing the increase in deaths, we're seeing rather dramatic decrease in the need for hospitalizations. Like I think yesterday it was something like 200 new hospitalizations, and it's been as high as 1,400 at any given time. So that is going in the right direction. I say that, and I always remind myself when I say that, that means that what we are doing is working, and therefore we need to continue to do it. I get questions a lot, Dr. Birx and I, about these numbers, the projections that you went with from 100,000, 200,000, now down to 60,000. That's a sign that when, as I keep saying, when you take the data you have and you reinsert it into the model modifies. Data is real, model is hypothesis, okay? So that's what you have to do, and that's what I think we're seeing.
Dr. Anthony Fauci at yesterday's White House briefing explaining a revised projection for deaths in the U.S. from the coronavirus that is dramatically lower than the previous estimate, Joe.
It really is. And the doctors, as the Wall Street Journal editorialized, as a lot of Republicans are now starting to talk about, the doctors should be allowed to speak to the American public. The doctors should be allowed to speak to Americans who are concerned, senior citizens who know they're not getting good information when the president blusters, who understands he's gotten this wrong from the very beginning, who understand that scientists, doctors, those are the people that need to speak, not Donald Trump, who's been wrong from the very beginning, not his henchmen in the media. You've got henchmen in the media now attacking Dr. Fauci, claiming he's some Hillary Clinton plant. It's just,
oh my gosh.
It's outrageous. It's not real. Actually, it's stupid. It's stupid, and also there are deadly consequences to that kind of talk. We should know already because we've been there before. These liars in the Trump media who have been downplaying this from the very beginning, who made sure that Americans were ill prepared, who made sure that the president's lies were bolstered. You know, I was looking, Willie, I saw a headline that's hard to read from the LA Times this morning that the U.S. death toll topped 16,000 from the coronavirus. This is, again, more people than died at 9/11, plus a 20-year war in Afghanistan, plus the tragedy in Iraq. Add it all up, more Americans have died from this than all those wars. And this is what Donald Trump said back February 26th. When you have 15 people and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be close to zero, that's a pretty good job that we've done. 15 people, pretty soon it will be close to zero. We've done a pretty good job. And throughout February, he kept talking about how in April we were going to have warm weather and it was all going to magically go away. And well, now we're in April and almost 1,800 people died yesterday of coronavirus, of a pandemic that he said would magically go away in April. And yet, as the Wall Street Journal and actually other conservatives are now starting to say, the president is hurting his cause because, well, almost 1,800 Americans are dying in a day. He's talking about his TV ratings. Talk about being ill-equipped, not just to be president, not just to be a leader in the middle of a pandemic, but ill-equipped to be a leader of anything. You're talking about your ratings when more people, 1,800 people are dying in a single day. It's gotten too much even for Republicans and even for the Wall Street Journal editorial page to handle anymore, Willie.
Yeah, and to put it in terms he might actually listen to and might draw his attention, his approval rating has dropped again. Remember, it surged in the early stages of this, got him above 50%. He's back down to where he was as people watch this show every single day. And you're right, we see that contrast again yesterday where Dr. Fauci gets up in real talk, describes the numbers, describes what's happening, and says the death toll may be lower. That is great news. And we've gotten there because of social distancing, because of all these difficult policies that we've put in place, we've all lived by and adhered to. And immediately the president, according to the Washington Post, is talking again about opening the economy because he heard the death toll is going to be lower than he originally heard in those reports that said there'd be between 100,000 and 240,000. He's now saying by the end of this month or by May 1st, it's time to open parts of the economy, large parts of the economy again, not making the connection that the doctors and the scientists and the public health officials make between the number being lowered and these policies working. So if you take these policies away, they say those numbers will go up again. But as you say, the president yesterday, in the middle of this, in a day when 800 New Yorkers died in the city where he was born and lived for most of his life, saying his ratings at these news briefings are through the roof, citing a New York Times article that compared his ratings to those of the Bachelor finale. That's what he was tweeting about yesterday.
Oh, my God.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.